Hi everyone, how you guys doing? This is Matt Jarbo here with my review of What If Chapter 3. And my God, every week these episodes are getting crazier and crazier. And I mean this in an absolute, fundamentally good way. I don't know what some people, like Grace Randolph, are saying, oh, the people aren't watching it anymore. People are watching it. They're watching it. There's also, a lot more going on that people have to pay attention to. Not everything's going to trend on social media, Grace, but I digress. What if chapter 3, episode 3, whatever, was all about what if the Avengers all were dying at the hands of a serial killer before the Avengers Initiative could be enacted? And it was a wild concept that at first I wasn't too sure on, to be fair. I wasn't super feeling it in the first couple minutes. I think that had to do with the fact that Lake Bell was voicing Black Widow and not ScarJo. And I get it. And I love Lake Bell, but I'm also kind of hearing Poison Ivy from Harley Quinn. A little bit different, but Nick Fury, Sam Jackson, fantastic. Clark Gregg as Phil Coulson, also fantastic. The guy that got to play Tony Stark was also pretty good. And there's a lot of a lot of the actual voices were from the actual actors in this episode. What I thought was crazy was right off the bat, Tony Stark just gets completely yeeted. And that caught me by surprise because I was I was not expecting that. And then it goes right over to dealing with Thor and Mjolnir and that whole setup and having Hawkeye there with Nick Fury. I mean, showing us that once again, that Iron Man 2, Thor and Captain America all happened, and the Incredible Hulk all happened at the same time is really cool because it gave us this through line that we didn't really get in the movies, but it was really interesting to see play out here. In fact, I was really, really, really impressed with just kind of how it all fit and tied together. And now, look, I'll fully admit, maybe that's just me as a fanboy sitting there and going yeah, okay, I'm such a fan of the early films and all the films. But to see it all kind of play out and laid out chronologically was pretty cool, to be fair, considering the fact that, Incredible Hulk came out 2 years before Iron Man 2 did. So to see them take place on the same day, kind of cool. That being said, what really got me was Hawkeye dying, Thor dying. I mean, people are just getting taken out. These characters that I know and that I really, really, really like are being taken out, and everyone is powerless to stop them. I was so unsure of who the killer was. I'm racking my brain, who could the bad guy be? Who is the person doing this? Because there's obviously going to be someone that we know. It's going to be someone that we are familiar with. And I'm is it Emil Blonsky? Because they set up having that showdown at the college with Emil Blonsky. That didn't happen. But they did show us that cool little college scene from Incredible Hulk, which again was pretty badass. And they, I'm sitting there but who is the person behind this? What I thought was great was when the Asgardians showed up and you had Jamie Alexander as Lady Sif and Tom Hiddleston as Loki, and he's going through the same kind of bluster and bravado that he normally would. But this time he actually is on a mission, and this time he has the Destroyer with them and he's backed up by Asgardian soldiers, and he clearly wants vengeance for the death of Thor. And I'm oh, this is kind of unhinged Loki. This is this isn't post of, New York Avengers 2012, us going into the Loki show Loki. This is straight up narcissistic, sociopathic Loki that we all kind of fell in love with back in 2011. I thought that was really cool. So what was interesting though, is they had kind of framed Black Widow for it. So she's on the run. And there was, again, a lot of kind of spy thriller stuff going on there. She had to evade. She had to do stuff to make sure she wasn't going to be captured. I mean, they didn't spend a lot of time with it, but the stuff they did do, I thought was pretty cool. I liked when she had her conversation with Coulson and she's I need your password because they can't let me in. And he's I'm not going to give you my password. And she's kind of all right, I'll get it from you. And then he tells her, but I know the joke is that he's a huge Captain America fan, huge Steve Rogers fan. But even I thought that the joke about the password, # Stark, 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 123 Stark or something like that, was kind of all right, whatever, okay. It makes sense leading into the Avengers movie before his canonical death in the cinematic universe, at least. But it was still cool to have him back because I do love I do love Coulson. I've always enjoyed Coulson's character, so I'm very happy that he was back in some capacity. And then what was really funny too was the moment right before Fury has to make a deal with the devil or a pact with God, was that he looks in his glove box and he's got the Captain Marvel pager. And I thought that was great because even Coulson's like, is that a beeper? Like, what is that thing? I have no idea. But what was cool though is he goes off and he signs a deal with Loki. We don't quite know what it is just yet, but he figures out it's all to do with Hope Van Dyne. And then he goes to San Francisco and then we see it. And I'm like, okay, they're kind of leading us to believe that it's going to be Scott Lang. They're kind of leading us to believe that something happened to Hope and that's going to be Scott who is furious. But no, it was all Hank Pym in the yellow jacket suit. Hank Pym full on maniacal serial killer mode. And I don't believe that was Michael Douglas's voice, but whoever did it did a good job. And this reasoning made a lot of sense. Like Hope gave her life for S.H.I.E.L.D. And she was lied to in his eyes by Nick Fury, and that he killed everybody as a way to hurt Fury, as a way to stop the Avengers Initiative, to bring down S.H.I.E.L.D., one of the ways to do it. But of course, he admits this to Loki, who is shapeshifting as Nick Fury. And then, of course, that brings, everyone kind of kicks his ass a little bit, and then he gets taken away back to Asgard. But then, of course, Loki does what we all knew Loki was going to do. He takes over Earth in like a day, because I thought it was great that this episode took place over the span of 5 days. And we're like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And by the end of the week, we had a new ruler on the planet, and it was Loki. And then what was fascinating about that to me was how Nick Fury, like he says, I'm either going to make a pact with the devil or a deal with the devil or a pact with God, because he's the god of mischief. And he's like, okay, either it's going to be good or it's going to be bad. And it's Loki, but we're also kind of at this point used to like the nicer Loki. So I don't think people were really thinking that this was like Thor Loki before all of his character development. But after that, what we see is, him digging down, finding Steve Rogers, finding him still buried in the ice because this is before Captain America, and then bringing out Steve Rogers as a way to create a new team, a new Avengers team, in order to take down Loki and get his ass off of the planet. And then he is backed up by Captain Marvel, who pops in at the very end, and she's like, so where's the fight? And that got me thinking, whoa, like, holy crap, wouldn't that be cool to see the sequel to that, to see the conclusion to that story of Nick Fury, Steve Rogers, Captain America, Captain Marvel, literally taking on Loki, who is kind of like just super, he doesn't have the scepter at this point. So he doesn't have the Tesseract or the Mind Stone or anything. He doesn't have any of the stones. So he is more vulnerable than he was before, but he's also now the ruler of Midgard, which is what he wants. So he's going to be protected. He's going to have destroyers. He's going to have a lot of things. And that is going to be something that would be very fascinating to see play out. That what if scenario would be very cool. And I'm just kind of wondering down the road somewhere, like, are the sequels, because each one of these episodes, apparently, they take place in their own specific pocket universe, which is cool. But there's been a lot of rumor and a lot of speculation about the possibility of there being a multiversal war. And now leading into some of the aspects of some of the rumors we're hearing about, like, let's say, the upcoming Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man No Way Home and the multiverse and all that, people are questioning now, will What If be considered canon in regards to how it's going to play into the larger narrative? And that, I don't know, that I can't tell you. But it's really interesting to see what's going to be happening next. I think next week is the Doctor Strange episode, and people are going to be really living that thing. We'll have to wait and see. But in the meantime, I am very interested in where things go. I would be very interested if season 2 would follow up and offer a continuation of these what if stories rather than just one shots. Because I think that would be cool for not only further character development, but to build maybe mini franchises off of some of these. Because I've said before, and I'll say it again, some of these stories could easily be 2 episodes, 3 episodes, give us a feature length animated movie Something along those lines, that'd be great. That's what I'd like to see. You guys may want to see something different. Let me know down in the comments section your thoughts on the episode. I thought it was wonderful. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you again for watching. Have yourself a great day. Subscribe if you want. Listen to Hollywood After Dark on 3 Buck Theater. Nightly live stream, talking about all this stuff. And have a good one, everybody, and peace out.